All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Um, and we are going to jump right into today's call. We probably won't take the entire hour. I just wanted to take this opportunity to share with you a little bit about FISP and CISMA. I know we've got a lot of newer folks involved, so just some really quick primers on that, and then talk about some highlights of 2019 and also share some plans for going into 2020. I apologize in advance for any background noise. There is a dog that has been barking like maybe a block from my office all morning, and I'm not sure if you guys can hear him or not, but I apologize for that. I can certainly hear him here in my office. Um, so really quickly, I just wanted to talk about kind of the foundations of FISP. Um, as many of you know, it came out of an effort in the late 1990s and early 2000s, initiated by then Governor Jeb Bush, who directed the Department of Environmental Protection to create a statewide invasive species strategic plan for the state, and do that in partnership with all the different folks who have a stake in this issue. And so out of that came some different initiatives, one of which was a private lands working group, because there was this recognition that 60% of Florida is privately owned, and without a concentrated effort to bridge those gaps across both public and private land boundaries, we wouldn't be able to make too much progress. And so the Florida Invasive Species Partnership was born out of that working group. Unfortunately, the political will and steam behind this invasive species effort that Jeb Bush started kind of waned and went away, but the group that got together for the partnership decided they were making progress and that there was good work to be done, and so continued working together. Just had our 10-year anniversary in 2008, so continue to go strong there. Over that time, the Florida Invasive Species Partnership created a website, and a key component of that website is the Florida Landowner Assistance Tool, essentially making an effort to provide that information to anyone who may be looking for it in a quick and easy format. So working towards different initiatives on how to connect both public and private landowners. Additionally, you probably have seen this before as well. There was a big effort taken on by the Florida Invasive Species Partnership to help nurture the regional cooperative invasive species management area movement that was gaining steam across the country at that time. There were already a few in play, the Everglades CISMA being one of the founding Florida CISMAs, as well as the First Coast Invasive Working Group, which was established early on. And the Nature Conservancy, as chair of the partnership at that time, took a lead role across the state in helping to form these regional partnerships and get that map filled in so that now we do have complete coverage of 16 CISMAs across the state. We also updated our strategic plan in 2017, and so kind of refreshing our initiatives, looking at how far we've come and where we still want to go. So I just wanted to provide a quick snapshot of 2019. We had across the state over 17 work days, 13 training and workshop opportunities, and 18 partner meetings. This is probably missing a few here and there, so not completely comprehensive, but this is a pretty good count of the activities across the state. And these numbers don't include the efforts taken during National Invasive Species Awareness Week, so you see those results there on the side. And so that was an additional 30-something work days, outreach events, and educational opportunities during that week, during the year. So you can see there's a lot going on. The CISMAs are very active, and we are reaching a lot of people every year. And then I just wanted to highlight, FISP has been working a lot over the last year on building our social media presence. We do have a Twitter account and an Instagram account, both of which can be followed at protect_Florida. The Twitter account is the least active, but we are working on it, especially sharing tweets from our partners and creating content there. The Instagram is moving. We're gaining some followers. And then on Facebook, we have increased our followers by 343 people since January. And so we're currently at 968. So right on the edge of that 1,000 followers mark. So looking forward to hitting that early in 2020. So that takes us into 2020. And I just want to share some big things that are coming up. So first of all, I want to talk about Florida Invasive Species Awareness Week. This will be Monday, February 24th through Saturday, February 29th. It's important to note here that typically, we'll count anything, like if the CISMA has an event, there's not much on Sundays, but if you did want to schedule something for Sunday, February 23rd, we would count it in the calendar. And then the same, we're going to go to Saturday the 29th to encompass the work days that happen on that day. As you can see, we've already got a few events. The Southwest Florida Annual Invasive Species Conference kind of usually tends to coincide with that week, which is great. That's a big event. And then the Florida Keys have a plant ID class scheduled. We also have a monthly call that week. So this is just kind of a note to start thinking about your potential weed wrangle locations, other outreach opportunities, any workshops or trainings, as well as reaching out to your local municipalities or counties to potentially sign resolutions for Invasive Species Awareness Week. And we'll also be working with IFIS for some media, and we'll be reaching out to you guys as well to talk about how we can engage the media during this week. So going through these really quickly one by one, the weed wrangle effort, this was, as you recall, something that we initiated last year, the first time, our first ever statewide Florida weed wrangle. This program is a partnership with the Garden Club of America. And so they have trademarked this event. They actually have a new website as well for weed wrangle across the country. It's an effort that is picking up steam and doing really well. And so we worked with them to take this on, and we will do this again this year. One of the lessons learned from last year, the initial concept was to kind of have a Saturday, one day during that week, to engage volunteers across the state, and it would be the last Saturday of Invasive Species Awareness Week. So this year, that'll be Saturday, February 29th. But what kind of ended up happening is some of the CISMAs just don't have the capacity to host events on the weekends, and so they prefer to keep their events to the weekdays, which is totally fine. So we had about a 50-50 split, and you can see in this map here, the icons that are green were weed wrangles that did occur on that Saturday, and then the icons in blue are weed wrangles that occurred throughout that week. And so this year, instead of trying to focus up front on the effort for them all to be on the same day on that Saturday, I'm just going to open it up and say, you know, during this week will be kind of weed wrangle week as well. But we still encourage, if you can host on Saturday, we'll probably still highlight those as really an effort to get kind of the general public involved, since Saturday events, people are more free and kind of out looking for things to do. So again, still kind of encouraging if you can hold a volunteer weed wrangle on a weekend or on Saturday, that's great. But if not, and it's best to have volunteer work days during the week, that's fine too. So be thinking about locations, and especially if you can host on a Saturday or you really want to get, you know, the general public involved, what are some kind of easy to work on plants? So this was also born out of a lot of people do air potato roundups this time of year. And because those have wonderfully diminished with the new biocontrol, there was less of a need for the air potato roundups, and so many areas have been moving to different species. The air potato roundup is a super easy volunteer event for anybody to get involved with, because basically, you know, they're kind of just walking around looking for the bubbles. So finding those plants that can be pulled or snipped or you know, that are kind of easy for general public to engage with is great to think about for this. For outreach opportunities, workshops, and trainings, a lot of times CISMAS will host a general invasive species workshop during this week if you're able to do that. And then for local resolutions, there are a lot of great examples of what CISMAS have done in the past. So what we'll do is we are going to, if you go to our website now, which is linked to here, or which you can see the link for here at the bottom, floridainvasives.org/NISA, that will currently show you the information from last year. So in early November of this year, we will get that updated to be host the new information for next year, and a part of that will be links to resources for the CISMAS. So there we will put up weed wrangle information, guidebook on how to host one, just some sample posters and things like that, similar to what we developed for last year for you guys. We will also put examples of local resolutions, anything that we have that you can kind of use as a template for going into planning for this year. Will be there. So I will send out an email letting folks know when that new information is up and ready on the website. So I'm just going to pause here really quickly and see if anyone has any questions about planning for Invasive Species Awareness Week at this point. Please note you are muted, so if you need to unmute. But again, I will also be following this up with a lot more information going to the CISMA leads, kind of outlining each of these points. So if you do have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box, or I'll also open it up again when we wrap up. But just be thinking about that and starting to identify your volunteer workday sites. All right, let's see. Also wanted to mention, and this is really important, the Florida Exotic Pest Plant Council annual meeting has been scheduled for March 27th or 25th, I'm sorry, through the 27th. As you likely know, we also run our annual CISMA workshop in concert with this conference, and so that will be on March 24th. Please put this one on your calendars, and we hope as many CISMA folks as can will attend. This is our once-a-year opportunity to kind of meet face-to-face and work through some of the larger kind of statewide issues with CISMAS and help out with some big questions that we can assist with. And so the theme of the FLEPSI conference this year is measuring success in invasive plant management. And so that actually dovetails really nicely into some upcoming CISMA initiatives, or FISP and CISMA initiatives, to kind of help develop more strategies to measure our own success, both with FISP and the CISMAS. And so this is a great kind of synergy to be definitely something we will talk about at this workshop, at the CISMA workshop, how CISMAs can better highlight and share their success, and how FISP is working to help address that. And so this is always a great meeting, and again, go ahead and save the date, because we really want some participation and to get your feedback. and to share information and resources with you here. Also, just wanted to highlight some upcoming events. Fall is usually pretty busy, and then we have a little slack off for the holiday season. But we've got some great stuff coming up. So actually tomorrow in South Florida, there's a Brazilian pepper biocontrol release celebration. So there was one a few months ago that was more for the agency folks and the people who work towards getting that released. This release is very much a public event. If you don't have the information for that, I can send it to you, or you can always click on the link, or you can always go to our website to the upcoming events calendar and click on the link for that event. Coming up soon as well is the Grasses and Sedge ID class. This one was a Central Florida partnership effort, and it was full right away, and they had a wait list, so that'll be a great opportunity. Also, Heartland CISMA has 2 field workshops, one in October and one in November. One is focused on native grass restoration on a site that was used for, I believe, phosphate mining. And then the other one in November is a field workshop on native and invasive species. In between there, Treasure Coast is hosting a Halloween count, I believe, in partnership with CISMA. One important one to note and another date to save, our fall FISP meeting is November 12th. So this is where our FISP partners will get together and work on our strategic plan objectives, and CISMA leads are also encouraged to participate in these meetings. Treasure Coast also has, they actually have released their full 2020 workday schedule, and so if you do visit our calendar, you can see, you can go click through the months and see all of Treasure Coast's 2020 planned workdays, the first one being January 14th. The Florida Keys has a plant ID class scheduled for January 30th, and they also just released a 2020 schedule for, I think, workdays and trainings. That one is not on the calendar yet, but will be soon. That just came out. So again, hopefully you're kind of visiting our website regularly to just kind of take a look at what's going on and what we have coming up. And so, but you can always see all the full details for these events on our calendar that's on that page. And just a quick note, if you've been visiting our website over in October, we did have some minor issues with both the calendar and some of the pages loading old content and like for some reason skipping updated versions, and so that has been resolved. So if you go to our calendar now, there were some missing items for a while because we were having some issues with everything coming up, but that I believe has all been corrected. Shout out to Bugwood for just being super responsive to those issues and making sure they were corrected. So everything should be back up to date and visible now. Our CISMA call schedule, as you know, there are no calls in November and December. So this is kind of my opportunity to wish everybody a happy holiday season, starting with Halloween, which I know we enjoy here, and hopefully you all as well, and then going into Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah. So our next call will be Wednesday, January 22nd, and then going on our regular schedule for the year, the 4th Wednesday of every month following that. No call in March, as we will be at the Florida Exotic Pest Plant Council conference, but stay tuned for more opportunities for live streaming from FLEPC. We did that with one session last year and can hopefully maybe incorporate some more sessions of interest. So we will not be having a call, but stay tuned that week because there will be ways to engage with us then. Okay, so I just want to kind of stop for a brief moment and just see if anybody has any questions about kind of what we've done in 2019, what we're looking forward to in 2020. Please know you're muted. You can also type in the chat box. As I mentioned, this is kind of a quicker call today, so really just wanted to share some updates and some planning efforts, and you will be hearing a lot more from me about especially NISA and the FLEPSI conference in November. And so looking forward to working with everybody again on that. And if there are no questions, we will wrap up today's call. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It's always great to catch up. And again, like I said, you will be, even though we won't have a call, you will be hearing from me, and we look forward to talking to you again in January. And follow us, please, on all the social medias, Facebook at Protect Florida on Instagram and at Protect Florida on Twitter. And this is also a good opportunity to mention that if you have any social media content that you would like us to share, please shoot me a note. I do follow all of our partners and our CISMAs and our CISMAS partners as much as I can, but I absolutely probably miss things. So if you ever have a tweet you just want retweeted, or especially on Facebook where we're most active right now, you know, please let me know. And I'm happy to do that. So thank you so much again, everybody joining, and look forward to talking with you and working with you again soon. Have a great afternoon.